Hello, YouTube. This is Schmitty. Hey, I call myself Schmitty because I have a very common name. I go by Schmitty because, hey, I speak German and I learned German in high school and in college. And Schmitty, very unique. It's not like Smitty, it's Schmitty, right? So anyway, I'm going to jump into this video about cancer. And I'm starting to realize that because sometimes cancer can hit someone like a ton of bricks with all this terminology and all these concepts and the dynamics added to an already complex system. When your body's working properly, for example, when your body's working improperly, there's another set of skills you need to be able to navigate through this thing. So in my previous video, I talked about cancer and I talked about autophagy and I talked about signaling pathways. And autophagy, that's, you can probably figure that out, but the signaling pathways are pretty much pretty important to understand. And even I, right now, I don't understand all these signaling pathways. I understand parts of these signaling pathways. I don't understand comprehensively all of them. So in this video, I want to take a deep dive into a topic discussed in a previous video about cancer and talk about 3 signaling pathways. Now, before we get there, I'm going to read you the paragraph that precipitated this video right here. So I asked my friendly ChatGPT enabled app, what role might inflammation play in the formation of cancer cells? Now, cite relevant sources in the format is how I usually ask my ChatGPT enabled app to do. So I want to get sources that are cited and that are relevant and that are pretty almost to the point where they're almost indisputable. And when compared to most stuff you find on the internet that's not really cited or not really backed by science. So in the second paragraph, it talks about a review published in the journal Nature Reviews Cancer. And it says, the paragraph says, inflammatory cells and cytokines can promote the growth and survival of cancer cells by stimulating angiogenesis, right? Inhibiting apoptosis, 2, and activating signaling pathways that promote cell proliferation and survival. Chronic inflammation can also cause DNA damage and other genetic changes that can contribute to the development of cancer, right? And so there's a source right here. And so angiogenesis, we're going to start there, right? So I asked my friendly ChatGPT enabled app to define angiogenesis and to cite relevant sources in MLA format, and this is what I got. So it says here, angiogenesis is the physiological process of new blood vessel formation from pre-existing vessels. It is a complex process that involves proliferation, migration, and differentiation of endothelial cells, as well as the remodeling of the extracellular matrix. Angiogenesis is essential for normal development and wound healing, but it can also contribute to the growth and spread of tumors and other diseases. And this is what it's talking about. These sources are from 2005, 1995, and 2017. So some of this science is pretty basic. Typically, when you see the studies that are older and it's being cited, usually those older studies are pretty much fundamental to the way a certain type of theory works, right? And so sometimes these older studies can be flawed, right? But other times these studies are so fundamental that you can't really dispute them, right? And so this is what they're citing. This is what ChatGPT is citing, what Koala AI is citing. And so also I'm going to talk about apoptosis. And the second thing is apoptosis. So I asked, ChatGPT, or asked my ChatGPT enabled app, what is apoptosis? Cite relevant sources in the format. Apoptosis is a programmed cell death that occurs in multicellular organisms. It is a natural process that eliminates damaged, infected, or unnecessary cells, preventing them from causing harm to the organism. Apoptosis is characterized by a series of morphological and biochemical changes, including cell shrinkage, chromatin condensation, DNA fragmentation, and membrane blebbing. Now, these are some I've heard of DNA fragmentation in the context of IVF, because I've gone through IVF. My wife and I have gone through IVF. I've never heard of membrane blebbing, but we're going to go on. These probably are very basic and fundamental to understanding cancer. So we've known about apoptosis for a while. It's a crucial component of how our body works when we're doing well. So when our body's not doing well, it's probably even a bigger issue because it doesn't happen like it should, right? Then I got to name some common signaling pathways that promote cell proliferation and survival. So common signaling pathways that promote cell proliferation and survival, these are the sources. Some of them are kind of new, right? This is a relatively newer study. These are relatively new studies. So I asked my favorite chat GPT-enabled app to be able to describe these things, because these 3 pathways I want to actually talk about. The PI3K AKT mTOR pathway, the RAS-RAF-MEK-ERK pathway, the JAK-STAT pathway. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly. The PI3K AKT mTOR pathway, the RAS-RAF-MEK-ERK pathway, the JAK-STAT pathway are all common signaling pathways that promote cell proliferation and survival. They are frequently dysregulated in cancer, contributing to the uncontrolled growth and survival of cancer cells. The PI3K AKT mTOR pathway is activated by growth factors and promotes cell growth and survival by regulating protein synthesis, metabolism, and autophagy. Mutations in this pathway are common in many types of cancer, including breast, including ovarian, and including prostate cancer, and can lead to uncontrolled cell growth and resistance to chemotherapy and targeted therapies. The RAS-RAF-MEK-ERK pathway is activated by growth factors and promotes cell proliferation and survival by regulating gene expression and cell cycle progression. Mutations in this pathway are common in many types of cancer, including lung, colon, pancreatic cancer, and can lead to uncontrolled cell growth and resistance to chemotherapy and targeted therapies. The JAK-STAT pathway is activated by cytokines and growth factors and promotes cell proliferation and survival by regulating gene expression and immune function. Dysregulation of this pathway is common in many types of cancer, including leukemia, lymphoma, and multiple myeloma, and can lead to uncontrolled cell growth and immune evasion. We see growth factors in each of these things and cell proliferation. So I'm going to go a little further. I want to ask what the PI3K is. PI3K phospholinositide 3 kinase is an enzyme that plays a key role in cell signaling. It is activated by growth factor receptors and other cell surface receptors and catalyzes the conversion of phosphatidylinositol for the 5-biphosphate PIPT2 to phosphatidylinositol 3 for 5-triphosphate. PIP3 serves as a docking site for downstream signaling molecules, including AKT and mTOR, which promote cell growth and survival. Dysregulation of the PI3K pathway is common in cancer and other diseases, leading to uncontrolled cell growth and resistance therapy. So these are the 3 pathways that I'm talking about. So I have an idea what these growth factors are, but I want to make sure I'm getting it correctly, right? So I asked my friendly ChatGPT-enabled app to name growth factors that commonly activate the PI3K AKT mTOR pathway, the RAS-RAF-MEK-ERK pathway, and the JAK-STAT pathways, and cite relevant sources as I always do in Emily format. So I just asked my friendly ChatGPT-enabled app to talk about what role insulin might play in activating these common growth factors like IGF-1, EGF, PG, GF, FGF, VEGF, and growth hormone. So insulin plays a role, which means that consuming carbohydrates basically in excess can actually have enhanced effect on these growth factors. Anyway, that's a lot for this video. And, as we go deeper into this idea of prevent some of the stuff that ends up being cancerous, one of these things is exercise, right? It talks about autophagy. One of the things is fasting as well, right? So, and these fall in line with my theory about how to fast. If you're interested in learning how to fast, I would suggest understand the ketogenic diet and keto adapting. I wrote this book called The Ketogenic Advantage Blueprint. We're not promoting a ketogenic diet, but we're helping people reach a state of anti-inflammation, right? And so if you're interested I'll put the link to the ebook in the description of this video. And also I will say that exercise plays a vital role in preventing stuff like this. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you're looking for help reaching your fitness goals or your wellness goals, seek a fitness professional or wellness professional. If you want help from me, there's resources in this video on this YouTube channel and at iragains.com. I'm Smitty. I hope you reach your fitness and wellness goals. Talk to you next week.